And we're going to take a look at a French team doing Goshin Jitsu. France has always been in the top 3 at the world level, and so we'll take a look at them. Hopefully you see just the competition with the yellow mat area and the red area around it. Hopefully you're not seeing anything else, so it's big enough that you can see that. Okay.
On mat number 3 from Ukraine, boys into the arena and clap out Vitaly.
All right, that was an example of the Goshin Jitsu unarmed attacks. And what I want you to simulate now is the attack, the strikes. And we're going to do this against the wall. Oh, I'm going to move over to the wall. So thank you. And I want you folks to also find the wall too. But what we're going to do is just work on the strikes. All right. So if you're doing a forward punch strike, you want to have your hand level, no ski jump type thing. Think about striking with the first 2, 3 knuckle area, not the small finger area here. Try to have posture when you're doing this so that you're actually driving in here. In Goshin Jitsu, the palm is pointed downwards, as opposed to another kata where the fist is pointed upwards. So we want to make sure that the fist is pointed downwards, and find a wall you can work on, just working on hitting the wall, because as a uke, your intent is to hit the tori. And if you're a tori, then your intent is not to hit. It's okay to tap the jidogi, but not if you're okay, you're trying to hit. Okay, so we're talking about using the fist. This hand, you could also work on your left hand punch. So here, work on striking with this part of the fist against the wall. Yeah, you can do both hands, this side or this side. You can also use this hand for uppercuts. So again, you're working on coming up. Now, the wall does not have a chin, so you can have a partner work with you, partner. Yeah. And she could just give you a target area with her hands. Make sure if you do this web, not to have your hand right against your face. You need to have a bit of a cushion area. But here again, when you're stepping here, you're stepping with posture here. You're not back here and reaching. Please come up with an uppercut. There, okay? Here, uppercut. Another one is take that same fist and use the padded part of the hand. This is striking usually the temple. So it's a hammer blow to the side. Okay, so again, you're stepping with your posture, working there. So the fist again could be straight ahead. It could be hammer blow. It could be an uppercut here. The hand could also be used for edge, the edge of the hand. And usually, again, this would be against the temple there. This one you can do against the wall. That's fine. And the other part of the hand could be the heel. So sometimes there might be a shot to the chin area. So hand, very important that you have control. And by control, what I mean is that if I miss that hammer blow, I still have posture. If I miss and I'm swung like through like that, then I don't have balance, not too good. I might lose balance because something Tori does to me. That might cause imbalance, but for attacking, you want to have posture and control. The last part you might use also is your foot. So on these ones here, make sure it's a snap kick. Lift up the knee first. Lift up the knee and then kick with the ball of the foot. Some people will kick with the flat of the foot, whatever you're comfortable with. Obviously, you're not kicking like a soccer ball up in the air with the toe pointed ahead. You want to have the knee up and snap kick it ahead. All right. Same thing again with the side kick. You want to have posture, balance, and kick with the edge of the foot against. You can use the wall on that one. Okay, so just take a few moments just to work on the strike part. Again, you can beat up the padded walls. You can work with a partner or a spouse or somebody. Yeah.
Our body needs to remain
You want pretty square, pretty square. Just have balance, have posture, have balance, have posture. We're going to take a look at the first technique. Actually, the opening ceremony part, I'm going to wait until we get to the weapons. So that'll be not this class, but a later class. We'll show you the opening ceremonies and the closing ceremony. The first one that we're going to go into is called Ryote Dori. Ryote is two hand, Dori is hold. As you saw in the video, every attack involves approaching each other from usually a 4-meter distance apart approach. So the first two steps generally are just to get within range of each other because you can't do anything 4 meters apart. But once you take your 1-2 steps and you're now at the 2-meter spot, then it's action time, right? So usually the first 2 steps are just to, you don't want to give away anything. You're just approaching each other here. And then it's on the third one that you start sort of get ready for action type of thing. So that's where you usually will be stepping one and then attacking on two. And the first technique, Realty Dory, the whole principle of this one is that Uke wants to knee Tori in the groin. So if Uke and Tori approach here, what Uke is trying to do first of all is to control the hands down. In other words, fix me down to the ground. Now she's going to try to kick the knee into the groin. All right. Again, rule number one: don't get hit. So my job is to avoid that. She is trying to lock me and to kick me. The way to avoid that, in this case, I can just step back with posture. So my left foot will just step back. Okay. The other part that is not really mentioned too much, but what you're actually trying to do is to also, as you step back, pull your partner forward. How you do that is to pull your hands back. She's gotten to hold your hands, just step back and pull your hands back. Okay? The whole idea of that is to try to get your partner off balance. So as I mentioned, Uke's job is to try to fix me into my spot by putting weight down. Uke often looks like Uke is pushing ahead, but that's not what her intent is. Okay, a good example of this is that if I want to strike Uke in the face, I want to fix her so that I could contact her. I'm not going to try to punch her by pushing her away. Doesn't make any sense. I want to lock her and then obviously make contact that way. So in this case here, the Ryota Dori is to try to fix those hands down and then do the kick. It's not
kick.
Knee. It's not push the person back and then step forward, even though it looks like she's being pushed to hit. It's because Tori draws her off balance, but her intent is to fix me down and then knee me. And again, job for Tori is don't get hit. So I will step back. All right. So that's first part of this attack is to make sure that you fix and kick. Tori, step back and avoid. Now, let's take it further now. Once I've done that, I have to try to get my hand free. Now, how you break that wrist, how you break this right hand wrist, is that the person holds very firmly, but you have to just turn your wrist and pull it across, almost drive your forearm toward her. No matter how hard that wrist is being held, you should be able to break it. Okay, it's just the way the grip is here. It's like a judo grip where you can break just because of that seam. Okay, so when you break it, right hand, break it here. Now that you've broken it, now you get to strike the person on the side of the temple with your blade edge hand. So here again, I don't hit her, but I'm close. Here, I kind of stands here. So now the last part of this is to get control of this wrist that's still holding me. That means that I put my hand palm on top of the palm and then break it ahead. So you end up with this 90-degree bend on the wrist. That's what you want to do. Okay. This one, there's a couple different ways people explain this one. I'm just doing what I think is the more common way, which is again like a catcher's mitt. Take your whole hand to be the catcher's mitt and catch that hand and then roll it up. As you roll it up, the fingers will be pointed upwards and that'll create the 90-degree bend on the wrist. So here, 90-degree bend, that's what you want. Some people will put their thumb in the back and try it. Some people will push their thumb in and break it. Or one fellow from the Kodokan, he had us do it this way. It wasn't bending the wrist this way, it was bending it up this way to do that one. So there's different ways, but again, for me, the backhand way, right hand to right hand, backhand, bend it ahead. And how I get the bend is my fingers right on the wrist area. So that creates the nook, right? The other thing is that as you do this, you don't want your partner to get her elbow back. You don't want it to pull back. So as soon as you're doing this one, always pull the head. Don't let her get her posture back. You're pulling her head, and you're also grabbing with your other hand. So it becomes sort of like a baseball bat grip. Okay? So this one is pulling. This one's on top. This one here, the pressure is created by this part of your forearm on the elbow, on the elbow area. It's a fine point because all the other locks, you won't do it that way. We're going to have you do more armpit way. But for the very first one, just to keep you on your toes or whatever, they made it different. So, okay. So as we approach here, she's going to lock, fight, and they're going to move ahead and just finish with posture. Tori always finishes with posture. I do not want to be leaning into my partner. That's not posture. That's not balance. So I want to always have good stability at the finish of the technique. And just a little dip of the knees to lower that pressure, add a little more pressure. That's great. Okay. The submission is that Tori will tap herself, and that's your signal to release. Okay, so a lot of pieces on that. After you do the pull, we're facing this way. After we do the pull, I'm pulling her diagonal. I'm pulling her diagonal to the corner, and then finishing with posture. Okay, don't bother to look down at the person because that has changed your posture. Just look ahead. Just in mountains, as they say, look ahead. Okay, so it's all presence, posture, control. Don't get hit. Get out of there. Okay, try to control and hit and work it out. But again, first time with your new partner or something, you have to take it slow. So you get, okay, or you and Franz want to do this? Let's try it. Okay, we're just going to have a couple of people demo. I'll turn it. I'll turn it. See what it looks like. See ya. Yeah. There it is. Okay. So you guys give it a try.
When you're wearing glasses during this, come across here, but here when you're doing a stretch. Whenever you're balancing, power shot. So you hit here.
All right. Let's just take a look at two wrist locks next before we get into the next techniques. The first one is called Kote Hineri. Kote Hineri involves taking your right hand, going across to Uke's right hand. When you do this one, you're going to use your thumb usually and your fingers to create that 90-degree bend on the wrist. That's what you want to achieve. So when you do these ones here, again, you're going to come over right hand on top. And as we pull the arm ahead, we're going to create that 90-degree bend on the wrist here. Some people will put the thumb in the middle of the backhand. Some will put it more over toward the pointer finger in there. It's up to you. Some guys have huge hands and they will just go right over top like the catcher method again and create the big pull here. So it's up to you which way you want. You can experiment, try it out, see which one feels better and so on. So again, it's right hand to right hand when you do this one. So this is the one part of it, and then the other part is your other hand will be used to control, either to grab or to control the elbow. So this way we're going to have two hands on top of the Uke's arm. All right. The second one we're going to do, and I'll come back and show this one again, is same side, left hand on her right hand this time, this way. Same thing, the thumb goes usually in the back of the hand toward the middle finger or the ring finger here. And what we're trying to do is to create the imbalance to the outside. So you're rolling the hand to the outside as you do these ones. You get a lot more action because of the pain that you create with the wrist lock if you rotate your whole body, then you got your whole body creating that discomfort. So usually with this one, it involves a whole turning of Tori's body. Tori's the person that's doing this one. So we'll come back to this one. I want you to start off with the first one, the Kote Gaishi, and just try taking your right hand on top of the right hand and pull it forward. Pull it forward as you do this. I'm pulling with my hand, but also I want to start to work on pulling my body as well. Pull with my body. You notice that again, I want her to be off balance, so that's why you always be pulling. Creating off balance, you probably heard the word kazushi in judo. We're creating some imbalance for our partner. So again, pull creates imbalance. Wrist lock creates discomfort. Second hand gives you control. And then from there, we'll work on what happens after that. Okay, Kyotsuke. Again, all I wanted at this time of year to do is the Kote Hinari movement. Kote Hinari. Because this next technique is called Hidari Aridori. And the attack is for uke. And what happens that we're not doing right now is we have to change our sides after every attack. So if in this first one here, if she attacked me with the Ryotidori here, then after we're finished, we would go to the other sides and approach each other from the other direction. One called Hidari Aridori. Hidari means collar, and again is a hold. So that's what she's trying to do, is to get control of my sleeve as she approaches. So this is my Hidari side. She'll be grabbing and she starts to push, I want to show my posture. So as she's pushing, you step back with posture. Now I got my balance back. I also want to create some kazushi on her part. So that's where I would grab my own collar and pull it. So wherever she grabs the collar, my hand goes directly underneath it, below it. Not, don't have space. Always try to get right below the hand. Because then as she's pushing, I'm supposed to pull back. I created a little bit extra kazushi for her, imbalance. That's not good for her. So from here, I will attack her without hitting, because Tori does not hit. So I will go backhand to the face. Fight! Backhand. Stun her a bit. Now I'll come back to the Kote Hinari, the one that you were just practicing. So I'm going to reach over here and then start to pull her head. Pull her head. Now, I'm stopping right now, but the whole idea is that I'm going to pull her ahead and take her to the ground. How do I do that? My hand switches to inverted V grip. This is called Yahazu. Underneath, we're creating a V grip because this creates the lock on the elbow. Right? So after I break this here, we would take her down. So pull her forward, kazushi. As I'm doing that, I'm going to be on top of the elbow and pulling her down. Get down to the knee on the back here, and then apply a little pressure by pulling this arm up as well as up. So ahead and up, as you still have the wrist lock on the wrist here. All right. Okay, has to slide down. Tori does the pulling. So when you're taking Tori down, you're pulling your partner down. You're not letting your partner get ahead of you and then having to push your partner down. This is important that you use your body to pull her down. That way, there's no resistance on her part. She's going to have to come forward because she's being pulled off balance. Plus, again, with your V grip on top of the elbow, that forces the person to go down. When you're going down, try to be careful. Just have your hand kind of in front of you so that it doesn't get snagged underneath you. You saw the finishing position. She usually has one knee bent to show that she's still trying to resist.
Do it for me from that side, and that way they see it on the camera going that
Okay.
way for them.
Again, we would approach each other from about 4 meters apart. She would grab, and then here, the wrist lock and the takedown. Knee, elbow up, pressure, release, and then that's the end of Hidari Aridori. Okay, so again, take it slow. Wrist locks involved, arm locks involved, strikes involved. Don't hit. You're the Tori, don't hit, but be really close. And okay, your job is to try, take your time, grab, but when you're pushing, it's just not just hand. We want you to push with your body. Move your whole body ahead as you do that. Okay, okay, or then Tori will step back. You notice that I'm not stepping back with a turn. I'm just basically going to be stepping back to the back corner, and then that way I can strike right into the face. If I turn around here, then I have to go hit in the face. It's hard. Also, it's hard for me now to take the person down because I have to do a full turn to get around. So the first step for Tori is just to step back square, relatively square, and hit. Any questions? All right, so let's try Hidari Aridori. Left collar hold. All right, we're moving on to the next technique, which is called Migi Aridori. So it should sound familiar to the last one you just did. Can you guess what the difference is with a Migi Aridori as opposed to a Hidari Aridori? The little guy up front there. Yeah. Okay, so Migi is right. Therefore, Uke is going to be grabbing the right collar of Tori. So in this case, again, we would have flipped around. Again, each technique we've come from the other angle. So in this case here, we flipped around to the first side and we would approach each other, come together. She's going to grab the collar and try to yank me down to the ground. Okay? If I don't react, that's where I'll end up. For this one here, my reaction is to get my posture back. So as soon as anybody's pulling you forward, get your posture back by getting your stability back. Get your body vertical again. As in judo, anytime you're bent over like this, your center of gravity is too far ahead, you're off balance. So as soon as the person's trying to pull you off balance, just try working into the step right away here. Step ahead. Okay, straight ahead as she does that. As she does that, you notice that she's also using her body. When she grabs, she's not just doing the hands, she's moving her whole body back to pull you down. So that's very important from an OK point of view to maximize the use of your body. On this one here, not only do I step ahead, but I also get to practice my uppercut. So this is a simultaneous type of thing. As you're being pulled here, you're going to be able to uppercut. Again, without hitting, but close range here. So that hit would have loosened it up, and then we're going to end up doing a kote gaishi. So this is the one that we didn't practice too much on, but it's the same side hand going on to the backhand. So again, last time we did the kote inari with the right hand to right hand. This is going to be Tori's left hand going onto the back of Uke's right hand. So left hand to right hand this time. As you do this one, the last time you turned it this way, this time you're turning it to the outside. You're turning it to the outside. So with the thumb in the back and the finger in the middle of the wrist there, you should get that nice bend that you want to have here to create the bend, but I'm not bending it back toward her. I'm keeping it away from her to get the kazushi again, to get it pulled forward here. So this is the action that's creating the kazushi that creates the imbalance to her front foot. And on this one here, Tori is basically going to turn the body. So once you've done your uppercut here, here we break it, and Tori is just going to spin 180 around. It's not so much that I'm throwing her, is that the wrist lock is forcing her to go. And again, for the first time around, you could just do it nice and slow. As you see the competition, you usually see the nice throw, the big slam throw. Okay, so here, as soon as she grabs here, hi! And then you can release. Okay, that's what you want to end up with, but obviously tonight, just roll yourself around and end up with a kotineri. One thing that's different nowadays is that we also do this with the jirogi being held in the jacket. So to do that, you're going to have one thumb that's going to be inside to get this one, but the other hand is going to have to come over top of your own jirogi. Going to have to come over top of the own, because you don't have separation. The old days, we would have broke it first. So that's the trick on this side. You have to grab with the jirogi in your hand, as opposed to breaking it first and then doing the real kotegaishi. As you see, kotegaishi usually use both hands to get that extra torque. One hand is the thumb in the back. The other hand will get the thumb in the back, and also you'll have your palm to help rotate that wrist around. Then you add that step around, and you get a lot more pressure on that one. All right, so a lot of little pieces again. Okay, you start off with the step back and pull down. Tori, you react with the step and uppercut. Then you get to get your first hand in, which is going to be on the palm, on the thumb on the back of the hand. But the second one here, you're going to have to grab your own material and get that second thumb going, even though there's jidogi in the way. Okay. Then from there, just pivot around. Don't move your feet. That first uppercut position is fine if you went straight. If you uppercut like this, then yeah, this is going to be in the wrong place. If you can uppercut straight, as you should, posture-wise, then this foot will just be able to spin, pivot on that foot. All right, so that's called Nigi Eri Dori. Let's try out. Right collar hold. One is called, or the last one tonight is called Kata Ude Dori. So you could sort of translate it if you know some basic Japanese judo terms. In this case, kata means single, ude is arm, and the dori again is a hold. So it's a single arm hold. And it starts off again after we finish the last technique where you throw your uke down, bang, and land. Then your next starting point is actually back to this side. So Tori will just move back to here. Uke will go up and come around. Okay. Now we're going to do it this way, even though you can't see as much. We're going to turn it around afterwards. But for this one here, I'm just standing there as Tori. Uke is going to put her left foot forward and take control of the arm, my arm. So one hand is on my wrist and the other hand is on my elbow. And she's basically trying to force me to go ahead. So if I don't do anything, I'm off balance. But obviously, I want to keep in balance. So as she starts to push me off balance, I'm going to step 1, 2. Okay, so she's still trying to push me. We're going to advance ahead again here. 1, 2. Now I turn and create a little bit of a kazushi with the elbow. That gets her off balance. You notice that I've also turned 180 in front of her. The reason is that I need to kick her on the inside of her left knee. So that's why I'm coming from this angle into the knee. Again, I show that I could kick, but I don't actually hit her because I'm being nice to her. So I will show, hey, kick. Now, this is where this hand here goes into the inverted V grip, the Yahazu grip. So you go up, to catch that. You got your V now, your V grip, and that's what you use to pull your partner forward. As you pull, you get your second hand involved and apply wakigatami. This time you get to put the armpit and get control of the wrist here. 2 hands on the wrist. Try not to overlap your hands, but have separation on your hands here. Try to have posture on this one. So if you squeeze in here with your chest, armpit, of course, tight, hand up to your chest level, not down here, hand up high, and then you just have to do a little jigatai dip, and that should create some pressure. So as you do this one with the wakigatami, you have to get over top and have her angled so that the armpit is open. In other words, I do not want to turn my back to uke. It's not effective. I want to angle myself forward and then squeeze down. Okay, we'll feel that, oh, I could take pressure off if I go lower. But ultimately, if you go down too low, you're going to be on your stomach. And remember that other technique where you're on your stomach and the knee was in your back. You don't want to go onto your stomach if you can avoid it. So this is why Uke is still fighting that lock, but she is still going to feel enough pressure to submit to the lock. So again, when you're doing a walkie, pull it along, get the armpit over top. Make sure you're not over the top of the shoulder. This isn't the sweet spot of the lock. You have to be over the elbow here. You have to have 2 hands on the grip here, and then just dip down a bit. And that should create enough pressure on the elbow. The reason you turn this elbow is to try to get that bump that's here facing upwards. If you don't, then she'll be able to bend the arm and she's gone. So always try to keep that pull. Okay, so again, we'll do it from this other side so you can see what's going on. Okay, it's going to control the arm. Push, 1, 2, kazushi here. Turn here, face. Right. Then yahazu here, so I go up. I have the V grip here. And I'm going to use that to pull with both hands in the diagonal corner. Okay, so I have to open up my hips to do this. I can't just turn. I have to pull and get a hip. Posture, look ahead. Good posture. Not necessary to try to dip the shoulder or look at the person. Look ahead. All right. Again, we covered 4 techniques, but I want you to think about the overall principles of the techniques, the overall idea of balance, posture, and control, right? Then if you have balance, posture, and control, then all the techniques should be far more effective. All right, so we're going to keep repeating that over and over again. And as we get more comfortable with the attacks, then obviously you're going to have to show that you're avoiding the attacks, and the person is going to start to ramp up the attacks so that they're more coming at you, forcing you to react. Obviously, if you get hit once, then you'll remember next time. don't get hit. All right. So again, thank you very much, and we're going to be shutting it down. So thank you again, Katsuke. Great. And we'll see you same time, same place next week on Tuesday. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you for folks that joined me on.